Hi everyone, it's Cindy here with your creative identity transformation. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about something very important. Something is beginning for you. Something that has been quietly waiting for exactly this moment in your life. And I think you already feel it. It's a stirring, a curiosity, a pull towards something creative. It keeps gently tapping you on the shoulder, and yet something is also holding you back. Not dramatically, not loudly, just a quiet hesitation. It arrives when you think about actually sitting down and drawing. It's a feeling that surprises you a little bit, a sense that this matters more than it probably should. Now, if that's happening to you, I want you to know something wonderful straight away. That feeling is not a warning, it's an invitation. And it means something beautiful is just beginning, a creative awakening. Let me tell you why I know this. For most of your life, your days had beautiful structure and purpose. You moved through each day with certainty and direction. There was always somewhere to be, someone who needed you, something important to accomplish, and you were skilled and capable. Your contribution was clear and visible and valued. And then retirement arrived. And for a while it felt absolutely wonderful. You enjoyed the freedom, the sleeping in, the holidays, that space, the long overdue rest, and all of it was glorious. And then one day, quietly, in an interesting question, something appeared. You began to wonder, what is this space actually for? Now, this is not the practical question of how to fill your time. This is something more interesting and far deeper than that. Wondering about what this new season holds, what it means, what's possible within it. It's what I call the retirement gap. Now, this is something that many people just aren't speaking about, and it's very unexpected, but it's actually one of the most significant moments of your entire life, even if it doesn't quite feel that way yet. Because the retirement gap isn't an ending, it's an opening. And drawing for so many women is exactly what fills that gap in the most unexpected, perfect and beautiful way. So you decide to begin to draw. Maybe you've thought about this and maybe you know that that's something you'd love to do and you're longing to do it. So you sit down with a beautiful blank page in front of you, your art materials laid out and everything's ready to go. And then something quietly but very interestingly happens. You realise that this is completely different from anything you've ever done before. There's no one waiting on the other side of this. There's no outcome to report on, no confirmation that it was worth your time. There's just you and a pencil with a blank page, and that page belongs entirely to you. And for a woman who has always moved purposely from one important thing to the next, that feeling of pure, unhurried personal freedom is brand new. It's delicious actually, but also just slightly and surprisingly unfamiliar. And that unfamiliarity can bring with it a few quiet questions. What if nothing comes out of my pencil? What if it just doesn't look like the way I hoped, the way I imagined in my mind? What if what comes out of my hand is totally different and not what I like? What if I'm not as capable as I'd like to be? These questions are completely natural, and I want you to hear this clearly. They have nothing to do with your ability to draw at all. They're simply the sound of a woman stepping into new territory for the very first time. This is meaningful territory, her own territory, territory that belongs entirely to her. And here is what I find so beautiful about this moment. The women who feel that hesitation the most deeply are almost always the ones who discover the most profound joy on the other side of it, because they care, because this matters to them. And things that matter are always worth moving toward, even gently, slowly, one small curious mark at a time. Now let me tell you something that always makes me smile when I see it happen. When a woman feels that hesitation around her drawing desk, she doesn't always know what that is. It just looks like a very full and wonderfully busy life. The kitchen gets an extra clean, the washing gets folded with unusual thoroughness, maybe there's more ironing than usual, there's a supermarket run for just a few things, a coffee date gets booked, a new volunteering commitment suddenly seems very appealing, maybe more visits with the grandchildren, and somewhere in the middle of all of that lovely busyness, there's a drawing desk quietly waiting. And I say this with the warmest smile because I understand it completely. And so do the thousands of women I've worked with over 35 years. This is not a flaw. It's not a failure. It's the most human, most understandable, most recognisable thing in the world. The things that matter most to us are always the ones we approach most tenderly. So here is what I do and what I want you to try this, because what I really want to say to you today is that this works every single time. Stop trying to draw for a moment and instead do something far more enjoyable, something that will change everything about how you feel when you approach your desk, your drawing desk, that beautiful space. I want you to make it completely and utterly your own. Make it a little haven where you can sit and feel so comfortable. You can make it irresistible so it's not just functional. It needs to be truly, genuinely, joyfully irresistible. And this is one of my favourite things to talk about, because when a woman does this, everything shifts. That space, it becomes uniquely yours. You start with the lighting. Have some beautiful, warm, soft, welcoming light that makes you want to linger. Add a beautiful scented candle, and that's your thing, you know. You want to have that beautiful space. This is your space. Find a lovely tray to lay out on your art materials and something that makes them look like a gift rather than a task. Put up a small corkboard on the wall nearby and begin filling it with things that make your heart lift. And if you haven't got the space, that's okay. You can use a scrapbook and just add beautiful things that inspire you. It might be an image that just takes your breath away, a feather you found on a walk, a piece of fabric in a colour that you adore. And then, this is my favourite part, surround yourself with things you love, things that remind you of who you are. Maybe you've got some bookshelves that are close by and you can put some things on those. Maybe you just like to keep a collection of nostalgic characters and ornaments like I do, books that I've treasured for decades, little mementos from my childhood that made me smile. They make me smile every time I see them now, and they remind me that I am more than any role I've ever played. They remind me that I am the woman who creates, and I have a creative life, and they make my desk a place I genuinely cannot wait to be at. When your desk becomes a place you're delighted to arrive at, the hesitation dissolves. You want to be there. It doesn't happen all at once. It's just quiet. It's natural, like a morning mist. It simply loses its reason to stay. And then, when you sit down, I want you to do something delightful. Don't draw anything in particular, just play. Make colour swatches. You can write the numbers of the pencils underneath your little swatches if you want to. Stroke your pencil across the page and feel the beautiful texture of the surface beneath. Look at the gorgeous colour as it comes to life on the paper. Make patterns, circles, curves, little strokes, little dots and dashes, or long lines, swirly lines. Whatever wants to come out of your hand, allow it to come out onto the page. No outcome, no expectation, no right or wrong, just you and your art materials and the joy of quiet exploration and discovering what they can do for you. This is how every creative journey begins, not with a masterpiece, but with a mark, just making marks. And that very first quiet, curious, entirely personal mark is one of the most meaningful things you will ever make, because it's the beginning of everything. Your creative awakening. And if you'd love someone to sit right beside you for that very first experience, to guide you gently and joyfully through your very first drawing after you've made your mark making and you just want to progress into the next level of actually creating drawings, I have something perfect for you. I have created the Gold Daisy experience, and it was made especially for this moment. It's free and it's gentle, it's unhurried, and it is genuinely one of the most beautiful experiences I've designed in the whole 35 years of working with women. I take you step by step through drawing your very first Gold Daisy, and what happens along the way will surprise you in the most wonderful way. Many women tell me afterwards that it was the first time in decades they made something just for themselves and that it felt like coming home. It's completely free and you can also email it to me. I'll share that celebration with you. You can tell me how it felt before, in the middle of the process and afterwards as well. Notice how you're feeling and how you feel afterwards. You can go find that little gold daisy for yourself right here and right now at drawpj.com/gold, a little hyphen experience. The link is in the description below. Now, before we finish today, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and tell me, what does your creative space look like right now? Or what would your dream creative desk look like if you could design it exactly the way you wanted to? I genuinely want to know, and I have a feeling the women in this community would love to hear your answers too, because your creative space says something beautiful about who you are and who you are becoming. Thank you for listening to Your Creative Identity Transformation. See you in the next episode. Let's keep that creative spark alive.